My name is Araya Fine. I'm the Executive Director at the Cleveland Neighborhood Association.
I'm Tania Cofield, and I'm a public ally and a community specialist at Cleveland Neighborhood Association.
And our organization, we're a North Minneapolis Neighborhood Association, and we do everything from block clubs to big community events like Open Streets and Live on the Drive, a summer music concert series. So yeah, we're looking and connecting with students about all kinds of volunteer opportunities, from things that they can do virtually, whether it's helping with social media and other like communications kind of stuff, to in the neighborhood door knocking and helping out at some of our community and youth events. So we had a student working with us last fall to do engagement with tenants and with residents in the neighborhood, just to make sure that they had the resources and connections that they needed. And we were able to connect with a Hmong resident who had been getting some letters from the city that weren't translated into Hmong or in anything that she was familiar with, and so she hadn't been able to kind of figure out what they were about. And we were able to, one, make that connection with her through a door knocking situation, and that connected with some resources, some translation, and then the ability for us to advocate for her to deal with the situation. It was a minor code violation and infraction that she just wasn't aware of, had to do with just the gravel on her driveway. Pretty minor, but it had become a big thing because she hadn't responded to this letter that, to her knowledge, looked like junk mail, just like anything else. So not only were we able to connect and advocate for her with regulatory services at the city, but we were also able to make recommendations to the department about how to change their communication tools so that it's more accessible to folks who aren't English speakers, or readers as well. So that's an impact, and we wouldn't have been able to do that without the engagement of a student that had come and volunteered with us and worked with us to actually do the door knocking and engagement we were able to do. So I would say just the impact I've seen the opportunity to work with us over the course of a semester have on students that we've had the opportunity to work with is just that it changes their understanding of neighborhoods and the impact that like place-based and geographic sort of connections can have on a community. And so especially college students, like when we're young, we're not really paying attention to some of the civic dynamics that exist in our community. And then you become a college student and you're kind of displaced from your home and in a new kind of place where there's just a lot of people that are very similar. Being in a neighborhood, and especially North Minneapolis, we have a very diverse population, racially, economically, age diversity and stuff. The opportunity to really see the impact that it can have to connect neighbors to one another, and the way that a neighborhood association on a really geographic level can fill a role that a lot of, oftentimes it's service organizations and other things, but neighbors could really fill that role, whether it's the traditional going to your neighbor for some eggs for something you're baking, to shoveling your snow on your sidewalk, to the kind of things we were talking about where it is really helping on a more significant basis with with supporting one another, whether it's with your kids or with elderly parents or other kind of things like that, and actually seeing the impact that knowing one another, knowing your neighbors can have on a community is a huge impact that students have seen and have changed, for some of our students, have changed their interests, whether it's not necessarily their major, but just sort of the field and the way that they wanted to go about their work. So.
I'm a public ally through AmeriCorps, and I found out about the Cleveland Neighborhood Association, obviously through public allies, and there are so many other ways to be involved.
Yeah, so I mean, the main way we would suggest is just checking out our website, clevelandneighborhood.org, and then just giving us a call, 612-588-1155, or shooting us an email. We also have texting, and you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the social media spots. And there's tons of ways to get involved. Like, really, it is an opportunity to do just small things, like short-term or long-term, right from your campus dorm room, on your computer, to coming out to the neighborhood and doing, some engagement, whether it's weekends or during the week, that kind of thing.
Very empowering.